Hey, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? How you doing today? Welcome back. So as you can tell today, we're hopping on that Dark Phoenix train, and it's a weird-ass train to say the absolute least. It's kind of like the train from Snowpiercer. You never really know what you're gonna get when you jump from car to car. Although the key difference is that Snowpiercer actually made a lot of narrative sense, whereas this movie, not really. But just in case you don't know, the plot of this movie is about the X-Men. They go out on a little space mission, and then they encounter this entity called the Phoenix, and it's this dark force that kind of enters Jean Grey, and then they go back to Earth, and then she starts going crazy and can't control it. And then some jolly green superhero shit starts happening. But it's like I said, this movie, it really didn't make a whole lot of narrative sense, but you could tell just from like the way that the movie was shot that they actually really were trying to do something, which is more than I can say about Jennifer Lawrence playing Mystique, because just talk about not giving a shit. And I think at this point, I'm no longer willing to call Jennifer Lawrence a good actress, because though she may have an Academy Award, that does not automatically give her the excuse. And if you don't believe me, watch any movie with Meryl Streep. Like, the movie could be absolute garbage, but somehow she'll try and squeeze an Academy Award nomination out of it, and half the time she gets it. But anyway, as far as the good acting performances, Michael Fassbender was still amazing. He always is good. And I would hazard to say that Sophie Turner actually did a pretty good job as Jean Grey, because she, I don't know who cast her, but whoever it is, they picked the right one, in my opinion. The sad part is we're probably never going to see any of this cast in another X-Men movie, but it is what it is. That being said, I feel like this whole movie, they just tried to do a whole bunch of shit because they're like, well, we're not going to get another chance. We might as well do a bunch of ridiculous things that we'll never get to do otherwise, which apparently includes having two completely different third acts. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Like, there is very clearly a ramp up to like the pre-third act, and like there's a bunch of whole big shit that's about to happen. But then kind of randomly, everything kind of takes a turn, and then it goes into a completely different third act that is actually really good, if I'm being honest. The second third act was legitimately a very, very, very well put together action sequence. And I don't know for sure, but I do have a sneaking suspicion that that whole sequence was just kind of tacked on in reshoots, because it was significantly better than the rest of the movie for no apparent reason. Even though the first act of the movie I thought was actually not too bad. I was actually pretty impressed. Like, the space scene was really cool, and then what happens, like the kind of inciting incident to the Dark Phoenix is kind of cool, even though it was also further proof that Jennifer Lawrence hasn't given a shit about these movies since like 4 years ago. Because say what you want about Rebecca Romijn as an actress who played the previous Mystique, at least, you know what? She actually had the makeup on her entire body for all 3 movies that she was in. And I can guarantee you that she wasn't paid nearly as much as Jennifer Lawrence was, so I'm on board with bringing back Rebecca Romijn as Mystique at some point in the future. And they tried to do a lot of weird stuff with Professor X in this movie that I didn't think really made any sense narratively. Nicholas Hoult playing Beast he actually had some really, really, really good moments, but then it was like overshadowed by a bunch of crappy moments where like his dialogue just came out funky. Quicksilver was very, very underutilized. Nightcrawler was extremely underutilized until way, way later in the movie, which I was very excited about, because ever since X2, I've been waiting to see an awesome Nightcrawler scene again. And I don't know what the fuck Jessica Chastain's character was doing in the movie, because again, it just felt weird, wonky, and out of place. But anyway, guys, overall, there was no unifying vision to this movie, other than the fact that Sophie Turner is becoming the Phoenix and she's losing control. Like, there's a whole bunch of other like weird little side plots that I'm just like, why are we losing focus? And it had some cool stuff in it, but overall, it was just a really, really whatever movie. I was kind of underwhelmed. That being said, overall, score out of 10, I think I'm going to give it a 5.7. Overall, not the worst movie in the world. It's definitely not worthy of the 22% on Rotten Tomatoes, because even if the movie's a little wacky and ridiculous, at least there's a lot of surface level stuff that there is to enjoy. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Have you seen the movie yet? Have you heard of it? Hop in the comments. Let me know what's up. Other than that, if you like this review, give me a like, subscribe, all that other bullshit, and I will catch you guys later.